Something I've always wanted to do in my short life. Plant a little rice. Get a closer attachment to this food I've eaten so much of. Woo! Yeah! It feels nice. Slick. All right, take
by twos.
by twos. Like that?
Yes. You hold it in the.
Hold it very low.
Yes.
And how far do I push it in? Just like that?
Yes. Push it down.
Okay.
Push it.
I can definitely see, you can see in the posture of people who've been doing this all their life, a definite change in their stature, and I can see it just standing like this for a little bit, puts a little strain on the back.
You've seen the enormity of these terraces. The whole thing is planted just like this. Every piece driven down by a press and a twist of someone's hand. And I thought washing the dishes was a chore.
You can see there are no machines, nobody spraying pesticide. Every strand of rice looks different, nothing genetically modified. This is as wholesome and as earthly as you can get when it comes to your food. To pass away the time. I can sing too, but you might not like it. Some people may say I forgot to plant rice in this patch, that I wasn't very cognizant of what I was doing. It's my style, Johnny style rice. But what I say is I created a little footpath. It's all how you frame things.
Eventually the sun and the strain get the best of me, and I tap out.
Oh! You hear that, ladies? Brr, brr. I think that's the 5 o'clock whistle, the Fred Flintstone whistle. Ah! My back is killing me. I'm like a little hobbit. No ring though. Still looking for it. Planting the rice, you're really zoned out, your mind clears. On the flip side, you're really hunched over. The sun's beating down on you. So would I want to do it for 8 hours? Not really. Not unless it was really rewarding work, which it is not. Most of these people are just planting for personal consumption. Imagine all that work, all the planting, all the processing, repairing the walls, pounding the rice, cooking the rice, and then bloop, 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 finished. Got to start all over again, planting the rice, repairing the walls, boop, 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 done. So it ain't easy, but I'm glad I got to share a little piece of their life with them.
The solace, of course, is the link from the past, the knowledge that you're carrying a torch passed over 100 generations. But for the newest generation, this solace is not enough. The lure of cash jobs in Manila and other cities has a strong pull. The terraces are no longer in isolation, and now that the sweet honey of opportunity has been tasted, it's hard to resist its draw. For the time being, the terraces are still as they were, still being worked to feed the descendants of the first men. But in 20 years, will they be the same, or will they simply be maintained in part, just enough to satisfy a growing tourism industry? The future is uncertain. For me, the future is clear. I'm gonna lay down on this bench and pass out. We might not have siesta in America, but I'm a big fan, as you can see. But I've only seen one side of the coin, and just like you can't have yin without the yang, I can't leave the terraces until I find the flip side of the cycle, the harvest. Although fun to try for a moment, I can imagine, just like the planting, this work can become both strenuous and mind-numbing as the hours rack up. But when confronted with tedium, humans always come up with some inventive ways to entertain themselves. The Ifugao, working these terraces, have patched together, I imagine over several generations, a unique oral tradition. Remember this song?
This woman is carrying on an oral tradition, which is very fascinating. All the indigenous tribes here have several types of oral traditions. This one's called a hut-hut, which is a sing-song tale that you tell to pass the time as you're picking the rice, but it's not without content. She's singing right now about her people's origin, the Tuwali people, about how they descended from an eagle-like sky god. What's fascinating is this tale, if told from beginning to end, would last days without repeating itself. Unfortunately, the modern generation of kids could barely recite a paragraph. She in her 80s could probably go an hour without repeating herself. The days of being able to go on continuously, sun up to sundown, without stopping, are over. That oral tradition is dying.
The ladies are again super welcoming. And again, I'm the weakest link in the chain. But there's something calming about this simple act of harvest. An ancient human activity I've never engaged in before. Working with the one food which has sustained humanity more than any other. Rice, which may have been in our diets for over 7,000 years, is the staple for more than half of the world's population. Less than 10% of all rice is exported. It's the food of the community, just like these grains I'm picking, which will almost all end up on the plates of the villages below. Out of the paddies again, and I think it's time to enjoy my handiwork.
Now here is something that the shishiest person in Sausalito and the most hardcore hipster in Silver Lake would both appreciate. Rice from a 3,000-year-old terrace that's non-GMO, totally organic, and reputedly straight from the gods. That's some good rice. Some good rice.